Welcome to Housing Developments.
I'm Jim Tobin.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
Paul, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Back from our Thanksgiving hiatus.
That's right.
I hope you had a great time with friends and family.
Yeah, life was good. How about yours?
Good. It was fine. We hosted at the house, which was great.
Oh, that's nice.
Turkey was juicy. The sides came out on time.
Life is good.
It was a good holiday. That's right. That's right.
Well, I think we should explain to those watching us on video why we're so fancy with our tie today.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're a little overdressed for the occasion today, but we just came out of our winter board meeting, our virtual winter board meeting. So this morning, the board of directors for NHB convened to go over, a lot of big ticket items for us.
Yeah. And it was particularly big for you because, you came in June 1st into the CEO position, and, we still congratulating that. But,
thank you.
But you promised, kind of three major initiatives by the end of the year, and you fulfilled them. But walk them through.
Yeah, in my first 6 months, I told the officers and in the board of directors that there were three big things, amongst other things, that I wanted to accomplish. One was helping to shepherd the budget through the process, working with our CFO, Eileen Ramage, Andrew Chabin, our budget vice chair, and of course, Buddy Hughes, our budget office, our chairman and senior officer. So working through that into the 24 budget, preparing that for board approval at this meeting.
Yeah.
The second piece was redoing our strategic plan. Our strategic plan ends this year. And so what a great opportunity to spend those first months talking with the members, the EOs, the associates, remodelers, every corner of the Federation to develop a new strategic plan, a 3-year strategic plan, and have that approved by the board. And then the last piece was a staff reorganization as I took, the full 6 months, even though I've been here a long time, took a full 6 months to think about how the strategic plan was being developed and how we're going to staff and budget for that in the future. And proud to say I rolled that out last week with the staff and then announced it to the board today. So 3 big things, all announced to the board. The board approved the 2024 budget. I want to thank our board of directors.
Always helpful.
Always helpful. They also approved the strategic plan, the goals and objectives that we're going to be striving to.
Right.
It was approved today. And then I announced the staff reorg as well for everybody. So three big things I wanted to get accomplished and feel very good about it.
And the strategic plan, it's a living document, right? Like we're starting off with some major goals and objectives, but as you, the senior staff, the members in particular, we all start talking about figuring out what the tactics are and what the strategies are, correct?
Yeah, that's right. There are five big pillars. I call them 5 big pillars. And we've got that big goal. We've got objectives underneath. And now the real hard work begins.
Right.
It's a staff and a member and the committee members in particular working together to develop the strategies and tactics to meet those goals and objectives. And it's a 3-year plan, so I don't feel like we have to get it done in year one. But it just, a lot of members put their time and energy, not only responding to surveys and focus groups, but then the group of our working group on our strategic plan coming into town and spending 2 intensive days with us.
Right.
We really try to create an inclusive, transparent process, and the results I think are great for us moving forward. But like you said, it's kind of a GPS, right? We're not locked into one way.
Right.
It gives us the flexibility to try new things, fail quickly. The old motto is, and find ways to accomplish the goals for the Federation. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. So, but people should stay tuned and be involved, right?
Be involved.
Right. So, so that's the work of the association.
The work of the association at the end of the year, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about more what's going on in general in regards to building. There's a big bill coming up, or is out there already, right, in the House.
Yeah, so we are actually looking at H.R. 5473, which is the Promoting Resilient Buildings Act, which is we're extending a piece of law that really impacts our industry. So it has to deal with disaster preparedness and FEMA. Several years ago, NHB was instrumental in putting into law in FEMA's regulations, allowing for localities to receive disaster relief funds if they updated their codes.
Right.
And that, at the time it was the latest published code. You had to rush to the latest published code.
Right.
Well, that sounds great, but to be honest with you, not every jurisdiction in the country, not every geography in the country needs to have the latest published code. They tend to lag the model codes by a couple of cycles.
Yep.
And if we're going to actually have the federal government invest in communities to become more resilient, the way to do that is help them move up slowly so they can accommodate cost, but more importantly, housing affordability.
Yep.
And so that legislation is actually expiring, or that law is expiring. It has sunset to it. So this legislation would extend that and truly allow FEMA to use the federal dollars and disaster relief money to encourage, localities and code jurisdictions to move up slowly, not race ahead to the latest published code, because it can be really expensive. Plus, you have to get all your inspectors up to speed, builders up to speed, things like that. So it's going to be on the House of Representatives on the floor next Tuesday.
Okay.
We're expecting a big bipartisan vote, but the way to guarantee that is to make sure that our members are really active and calling their members of Congress and telling them to support that piece of legislation.
No, absolutely. And if people want to get more information about that, they can go to nhbnow.org.
Right.
It's one of the blog pieces, and that'll give you the link so that you can go ahead and reach out to your member of Congress.
That's right. Or if you have a relationship with your member of Congress, text him or her, email him or her, run into him at the grocery store, go
Even
to
better, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a really it's a great way to end the year on a positive note, but a really important piece for housing affordability, as well as just common sense when it comes to codes. We're not anti-code, you know that, right?
No.
But I think we have to remind people that not every jurisdiction is ready to jump on the 23 or the 24 code,
right?
Or resilient building codes. Let's find a way to incentivize to move up and get more resilient.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll talk about talking about the end of the year.
Yeah, the economy. So, usually that's a main focus for what we do, but tell us what's going on. So things are better.
Yeah, it sounds like, it seems like things are going better. But the best part of it is, bond prices are coming down.
Yeah, there's finally a rally.
Right. About 4.2, we were scared about when it was hitting that 4.5%, especially Rob Dietz, who was like literally, restarting his computer and, refreshing his monitor every 5 seconds. Right. But no, after almost hitting 8%, we're actually expecting it to get to 7 pretty soon, which is pretty fantastic. Where we were, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and so what are we hearing from Rob? What's the rally? Is the Fed? We've been talking about the Fed. The Fed.
Yeah,
good signs.
Yeah, the best part of it is that up until 2 weeks ago we thought, it's going to be a coin toss between whether or not the Fed was going to raise rates or not. It seems right now that the smart money on the street is that the Fed's going to keep it elevated, but thankfully not raising it a quarter point like there was that kind of worry before. Right. So all good signs. Again, the good signs meaning that things are cooling down, which seems counterintuitive. But CPI looked good. The labor market is started to cool off. The last numbers looked actually normal-ish as opposed to that heated market that we've been looking at. So, things are starting to look good.
Soft landing? Dare I say it out loud?
Yeah, right. No, more and more people are talking about a soft landing, that the Fed may have pulled it off.
Right.
You're always going to have the naysayers that say, those who are going to be bearish about what's going on.
Well, bad news, right? If it bleeds, it leads,
right?
Exactly, Who wants to go on there and say everything's good, right?
It's like the guy, who's all like, I've been, expecting a recession now for 10 years and finally I got it, that kind of thing. So, but no, I think things are going to look good. Rob's forecast, Dr. Dietz.
Dr. Robert
Dietz. He thinks that 2024, it's going to be a darn good year, especially the second half of 2024.
Right.
And like you've said, in your travels and everywhere else, 25, even 26, look like banner years for the home industry.
Yeah, no, we know demand is high, supply is low. It makes sense that we're going to continue to be the only game in town. That said, if interest rates actually do moderate 7, I don't know where the magic number is. Anything less than where we are now seems like a good thing.
Right.
But it just kind of start to unlock that existing market. I think that would get that churn going.
Right.
I think would be really helpful. So.
Right. In the only way, and we've said this again, the only way we get out of this is by building our way out.
That's right.
So that's why we keep fighting up on Capitol Hill to try and get people to loosen the grip of what's going on with building right now.
That's right.
Lumber continues to be something that we keep looking at. There's a possibility that once things things start heating up, it might go up again. But no. Knock on wood, right now things are seeming more positive than negative by far.
Yeah, and when we talk to the members, generally, there are certainly pockets that are, that are hurting more than others. But
100%.
But we get the feeling the bills they're kind of like okay, right? There's not this, certainly don't have this dread that we had in the Great Recession. Of course, that's long in the mirror now. But you just get the sense that they're working, and they get that it's slow. and they know that that it's gonna start picking up.
Yeah, I mean the HMI is down,
Yep.
but remember that's more of a short term rather than a super long term view of the market.
Right.
But I think you're right. Most of our members are seeing like, okay, there's light, definitely light at the end of the tunnel.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
We just have to get through this, and if the Fed holds rates where they are, again, still elevated by historical standards, but better than a rate gain, and I think people will start to respond to that.
Yeah, I was at a multifamily conference last week and talking with some folks from Marsh, so one of the big insurers out there, and they even said, and they know how insurance, certainly in the multifamily commercial space, is we're watching premiums go up by 200% in some markets or a lot of markets, and They even said there's a light at the end of the tunnel. They're starting to feel that market's going to ease at some point.
Right.
And the gentleman said it's not a train coming at us. But so it sounds like there's some optimism. Things are going to start to unwind. We still really are post COVID in a strange way, and people are still trying to figure out, what's the
normal.
What's normal, right? Which is we're trying to figure out with the trade show. So
that's right.
We're now I think there's 12 weeks out from the International Builder Show in Las Vegas. What are you hearing?
Well, you're hearing the same thing that I'm hearing.
Yeah. Well, tell our listeners.
I mean, it looks like it's going to be a banner show.
Yeah.
I mean, we're over 1 million square feet.
Right.
It looks like it's going to be the biggest show since
2009.
2009, since the great downturn.
Yep.
So, it's going to be the place to be. I mean, especially if you're seeing that 24 is ramping up, 25 is going to be a banner year. Why wouldn't you be at the show and try and figure out how you're going to grow your business?
Yeah, that's right. We obviously our co-location partner, the National the Kitchen Bath Industry Show, is going to be there. KBIZ co-locating 1 million square feet. Bring comfortable shoes, as Alicia Huey said.
Right.
There's a lot of walking to do, but it's going to be spectacular. It really is. I mean, think about it. The biggest show since 2009.
Right.
And that's pretty good, especially how great the last year's show was.
Yeah.
But Vegas is definitely the place to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those who are interested can go to buildershow.com.
That's right.
And register. There's some deals right now.
Yeah. Register, parties, education sessions. It's going to be another blockbuster year in Las Vegas. And of course, it's Vegas. Everybody loves Vegas. Well, not everybody loves Vegas. I love Vegas.
Yeah.
But that's great.
Yeah. A non-shameless plug for the Builder Show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the place to be.
All right. Well, welcome back.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. We hope all our listeners had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We'll probably take a pause over the holidays in a couple of weeks, but we'll be back next week with the latest and greatest from what's going on here in the center of the universe. It seems like in Washington D.C.
Absolutely.
But until then, we'll see you all next week. Right.
Sounds great.
I'm Jim Tobin.
I'm Paul Lopez.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Take care.